Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me for another espresso. I'm really grateful for all the comments, feedback. I'm really happy to hear that the content that I'm doing has been helping people, so it's been really cool. Thank you so much. I'm going to do an espresso every Wednesday for the rest of the month, and I'm going to be talking about a bunch of different topics, which I put on my last post, so check out my LinkedIn content and you can see. So today, this is a really cool one, and I hear it all too often. I'm going to stick the comment there. I hear this always from hiring managers, and more so, I'm not sure about their gaps in their CV. Seems too jumpy this past year. So, for me, clearly, COVID. So many companies have struggled. A lot of people have struggled. A lot of people have lost their jobs, and so I think be mindful if you're hiring right now. And many people are hiring. We've really seen a huge uptick in hiring, both in Europe and North America. A lot of people are hiring. And so if you're hiring, you're going to come up and you're going to see a lot of CVs of people that might have struggled this year for no reason, their own reason. So the company might have gone under, they might have downsized, lost their jobs, those kind of things. So I think really be mindful. You have to appreciate that, now we're starting to emerge into whatever the new normal is going to look like. You have to appreciate that everyone's gone through a slightly different experience and a slightly different story. Some people, if they've unfortunately lost their job this year, they're not going to be used to, the video interview, those kinds of connections. So I think it's really important to just appreciate the impact that it's had on different people, their skills. If you've been I don't know about everyone for you guys, but the amount of stuff I've learned this year has been crazy. The new tech, video interviewing, like the different types of interactions, like my learning curve has just shot up. And if people haven't been able to do that, they've not been working virtually, they've not been getting on the team calls, they've not been building virtual interactions with their colleagues and things like that, they've missed a lot of that learning. I think it's important just to take a moment and appreciate that and give people the opportunity to perform, to learn. And so if you're looking at people's CVs and there are a few gaps, be open to exploring it. I did a poll, actually. I'm going to stick the poll because there's like a few days left. So I'm going to stick the poll in the chat on the LinkedIn, and please have a little vote. And so I asked the question just to get a kind of sense check around what hiring managers are thinking. Really pleased to find out so far that the vast majority of people have said that it would be kind and have a chat. A lot of people have said, actually, it's not about being kind. It's standard. You should want to have a chat with people now. So yeah, be open. And I'm not talking about lowering the bar either. This isn't about giving people an opportunity who you might not have given an opportunity to normally. It's just, I think it's thinking about, it's working harder to unearth people who have real huge potential that could outperform. It's about giving people a chance, really. And this conversation, forgetting COVID, it's happened all the time. And there's this really big debate around, contractors, perm. Some people are comfortable hiring contractors into permanent positions. Some people are comfortable hiring perm people into contract. A bunch of people aren't. And this dialogue and conversation around people perceived to be jumping around contracts, what is the optimal time to stay in a job? And I think it's, for me and from my perspective, I'm seeing people staying like 2.5, 3 years, probably on average, whether they're moving to another role internally or whether they're moving out. But firms have to work really hard to keep people engaged and motivated and things like that. So that's what I'm seeing. But again, like look a little bit further under the skin. If they've been a contractor and they want to go into a perm role, why? Think of all of the reasons why this person could be good in the role. Because many hiring managers that I speak to, their first thought, a lot of it's subconscious. It's like, why shouldn't I hire this person? And they're always looking for reasons like why they shouldn't hire this person, they shouldn't meet this person. So be open. Also, I think a lot of people, a lot of hiring managers, they're armed with these competency-based questions, many designed like 10 years ago, and roles and competencies and attributes have changed so much now. So now as we're re-emerging and people are really starting to hire talent acquisition professionals, headhunters, recruiters, we're doing like, in this past 6 months, it's almost been like a whole year's recruiting. I mean, really people are starting to up the game now. And so if you are hiring, just think about what are the attributes that are important to the role that you're hiring for. Has the role evolved? What are the deliverables? What can you start to look for? So I think that's super important. The other thing is also, make people feel comfortable. Forget those traditional, formal interviews where you're the hiring manager, you've got the power, you're asking kind of questions that nowadays I think are a little bit dated. So I would just be more creative, make people feel at ease. For me, it's about really thinking about what is the person really like what are they like normally, and if you make them feel comfortable, if you're considerate, you put them at ease, I think really that people will open up much more, and you'll be able to get a real sense of what people are really like. Because otherwise you find interviews like speed dating, right? You're meeting someone for an hour, half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it might be. A lot of it's on video now as well. And you're not really finding out a huge amount that's interesting if you're doing this formal thing. So I would be open. I would also just think about redesigning your interview process a little bit and linking it to what you're actually looking for. Like, what does good look like? What are the attributes that these candidates need? And then go about designing a good interview process that seeks to find that. Be kind, be patient, be nice. Appreciate that everyone's going through a different scenario, and some compassion goes a long way. Final point for candidates: if you have found yourself out of work, you've unfortunately moved jobs a bunch of times this past year due to COVID, due to whatever reason, I think about crafting your story. From my poll, it seems like many hiring managers will be compassionate to the story. So think about, what have you learned? What have you done? Where do you want to get to? If you're pivoting, I've done a bunch of other lives on pivots and so forth. But again, think about the story, think about the transferable skills, think about the value that you can add, and go for it. Speak to as many people as you can, network like crazy. Use LinkedIn, connect with people, engage, contribute to the conversation, and do those things, and it will put you in a really, really good spot. So they're my thoughts. Hope you've enjoyed it. Watch out for my next one next week, and I'll do a little post and a little video on what that was going to be. Have a good one. Take care. See ya.